Last summer when I was in Nashville, I had to fly home from the summer tour, and I really did it for one reason, and that was to attend my high school reunion. Sounds crazy, I know, but as I look back, I wonder if it was really the most responsible thing that I could have done. And the reality is with all the stress and all the events and getting ready and everything that kind of went into it, I really wonder if it's something that I should have scheduled to attend. But I really did it for a lot of different reasons. I know you're probably wondering, well, why did I go then? Was it so that I could see how fat the popular athletes had gotten, or to show off my trophy wife, or to show how successful I had come in my life? Well, if you'd say any of those, that would be correct. It was really all of those. But I went for really one reason, and that was to maybe make amends for many of the mistakes that I had possibly made over the years when I was a high schooler. And deep inside my heart, there was this desire to go back and to make amends for those mistakes. The biggest of all was taking for granted my circle of influence. As Ben was saying, he said calling is about being transformed. It's about God restoring that which was lost, making us into new creations. But it's never just about us. It's always about becoming a blessing to the world so that we might touch others in whatever circle of influence in which we live, whatever group of people we have popularity or authority or whatever it might be. I had a pretty tough upbringing, and so I don't think anybody would fault me for some of the choices I made as a teen. But as I look back, I know I could have made better choices. I could have been a better witness for Christ, and not the scary kind, if you know what I mean. So it says, I read the Gospels, I see at the end of Matthew, he encourages the disciples to go. And to not just go, but to be that person that is transformed, that is renewed, that is worshiping God with each and every aspect of their life. And what's really awesome is he's called them. He's kind of not just called them, but he's recreated them. He's transformed them. And he's helping them follow this incredible person and way. And then he seals the deal by dying on the cross and rising again. And then in this just beautiful moment there at the end of Matthew's gospel, he tells them to go. You see, the way Jesus sends them is by telling them to go and make disciples. And the reality is that the language is a little weird. He's basically saying in this idea of go, he's telling them where you've gone or where you're going. It's basically where you're at this very second. He's telling you to make disciples of all nations. You see, wherever you are, the rhythms of your life, the patterns, family, group of friends, wherever you're living is that circle of influence. And that is where you are to go. You see, I'm not so sure he flatly calls us to go to Africa or Asia or Texas. But what he's saying is you're equipped and called, period, to go. And the most amazing part of all this is that he believes we can do it. He believes enough in us that we can be the blessing that the world needs right in our backyard. Jesus himself even said, greater things you will do than I. So he knows that we can go and we can do these things. He takes up residence in us. His Spirit lives in us. The community of Jesus is in us wherever we go. And if we are not doing it, then his Spirit is not in this place. We have a great authority and this great commandment of God to go into all the world. God is making something new of us every day. He's transforming us and recreating us, and we're to take that and to go into our circle of influence. So you're probably wondering about the reunion. Well, it was boring, and I made a bigger deal out of it than I probably should have in terms of the way I dress and the people I was still trying to impress after all these years. But the one thing that I took away that night was just how much influence I did have, and I didn't even realize it back then. And so since then, I've been trying to keep up with my friends through social media and calling them often and even making some visits I've needed to make over all these years. And you know what the best part about this journey is the mystery of it all. I don't know how it's going to end up for my friends, but I know this. As I go, I'm continuing to make disciples. Light is shining.
together.